Today on MTG Unpacked, we're getting stuck into the streets of new Capenna Commander deck Obscura Operation. So the commander on this one is Capenna's Obscura Oculus. And let's take a look at what we get here. Sneak and Sabotage. So I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of card draw in this one. We've got the new Collector Booster Sample Pack. We've also got a 100 card deck with 15 new cards, deck box, 10 double-sided token cards, foil etched commander, life wheel, strategy insert, and reference cards. So let's get into it. So these are going for about 40 to 50 bucks US, so a bit pricier than what they've been doing lately. So we'll see if it's worth your money here. So you can see we've got the card just printed on there that's not really usable, along with some punch out tokens and a very cool deck box, which, yeah, there's some manufacturing issue with the ones I've got here. The glue wasn't working properly. And we've got a divider here, and here is our life counter. So you're going up to 40 here and up to 20 on the other side. We'll take a look at this in a moment. Here is our deck, and here is our Collector Booster Sample Pack. So they want you to get into the Collector Boosters. There's not really much in these, but I guess you could get lucky, get something cool. So let's see if I can extract them here. Alright, starting off with a Secret Lair ad. Also got Vazzy Keen Negotiator, so with the extended art. And a foil Mr. Orfeo the Boulder showcase art. Okay, so just a little taste there. And by the way, this box should be able to fit a fully sleeved commander deck. You'd have to remove the divider though. And we'll take a look at what we've got here. So Obscura Operation, playing the deck, and some rules about commander. So this is probably, I would say, one of the most popular formats of Magic. Capenna's Obscura Oculus. So some lore here about that commander, so you can freeze frame that, read a bit more about it. Okay, and let's get into the deck. So we'll have one more of these videos after this one with the brokers, and then we'll be done with the commander decks this time around. We'll take a look at the display commander. We'll also separate out the lands. We'll take a look at those nearer to the end of the video. So the display commander, you cannot shuffle this into your deck purely for display. This takes the place of the oversized ones. So we have Capenna's Obscura Oculus, very nice foil etched. And let's take a look at the main card here. So here it is again, legendary creature Syphilid Rogue, 2/4 for 4. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn, it connives. Then choose another attacking creature with lesser power. That creature gains double strike until end of turn. To have a creature connive, draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. So that's I think that's a new mechanic in this set. Next up we have Tivit, Seller of Secrets, legendary creature Sphinx Rogue, another mythic 6/6 4/6 mana with flying and ward 3. Has Cancel's Dilemma. Whenever Tivit enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, starting with you, each player votes for evidence or bribery. This is fun. For each evidence vote, investigate. For each bribery vote, create a treasure token. And while voting, you may vote an additional time. The vote can be for different choices or for the same choice. So you're going to want to look up the, let's see here, evidence, investigating, and ward 3. Yes, okay. Next up we have an offer you can't refuse. Instant for a single blue. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. And those are artifacts with Tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. We've also got Obscura Charm, instant for 3. Choose one, return target multicolored permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Counter target instant or sorcery spell, destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. And Obscura Storefront, it's a land. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it. When you do, search your library for a basic Plains, Island or Swamp card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle and you gain 1 life. Oh, this is a nice one. Swords to Plowshares, instant for a single white. Exile target creature its controller gains life equal to its power. And Daring Saboteur. Creature Human Pirate 2/1 for 2. Has 2 and a blue. Daring Saboteur can't be blocked this turn. And whenever Daring Saboteur deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Next up we have Looter Ilkor. Creature Core Rogue 1/1 for 2. With Shadow, this creature can block or be blocked by only creatures with Shadow. Whenever Looter Ilkor deals damage to an opponent, draw a card, then discard a card. So you're able to filter through your cards quite effectively with that approach. Treasure Cruise, sorcery for 8. Has Delve. Each card you exile from your graveyard while casting the spell pays for 1. You can draw 3 cards. So as I was suspecting, a lot of card draw in this one, which is very much a control strategy. Whirler Rogue, creature Human Rogue Artificer 2/2 for 4. So when it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 colorless stop to artifact creature tokens with flying. And if you tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, target creature can't be blocked this turn. And Ink Fathom Witch, check that out. Creature Merfolk Wizard 1/1 for 2 with Fear. This creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. For 2 blue and black, each unblocked creature has base power toughness 4/1 until end of turn. Next up we have Mask of Riddles. Artifact equipment for 2. Equipped creature has Fear. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Equip it for 2. And of course, the Arcane Signet artifact for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Azorius Signet artifact for 2. Pay 1 tap. Get to add white and blue mana. Commander's Sphere. So they've had this one in all of the decks as well. Artifact for 3. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. And if you sack it, draw a card. Demir's Signet artifact for 2. Pay 1 tap. Add blue and black. Felwar Stone. Again, this one has been in all the decks so far. Artifact for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Orzhov Signet artifact for 2. Pay 1 tap. Add white and black. And Soul Ring artifact for 1. Tap to add 2 colorless. Swiftfoot Boots. Okay, we haven't seen this one in the other decks. Artifact equipment for 2. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste. Equip it for 1. And Aerial Extortionist. Creature Bird Soldier 4/3 for 5 with flying. So whenever it enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may cast it. Whenever another player casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. Jailbreak. Sorcery for 2. Return target permanent card in an opponent's graveyard to the battlefield under their control. When that permanent enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target permanent card with equal or lesser mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's fun. Smuggler's Share. Enchantment for 3. At the beginning of each end step, draw a card for each opponent who drew 2 or more cards this turn. Then create a treasure token for each opponent who had 2 or more lands enter the battlefield under their control this turn. I like how we've got the raccoons siphoning off the barrel there. That's fun. Cephalid Face Taker. What? Creature Cephalid Rogue 1/4 for 3. Cephalid Face Taker can't be blocked at the beginning of combat on your turn. You may have Cephalid Face Taker become a copy of another target creature until end of turn, except it's 1/4 and has this creature can't be blocked. I like the flavor on that one. Change of Plans. Instant for X, 1 and blue. Each of X target creatures you control connive. You may have any number of them phase out. So we learned about conniving earlier. Treat phased out permanents and anything attached to them as though they don't exist until their controller's next turn. In Too Deep. Enchantment Aura for 2, split second. As long as the spell is on the stack, players can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. Enchant creature, planeswalker, or clue. Enchanted permanent is a colorless clue artifact with pay 2, sack this artifact to draw a card, and loses all other abilities. Oh, that's pretty brutal. Locking up the creature, then just use it as a clue. Mask the Schema artifact equipment for 3. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, it connives X, where X is the amount of damage it dealt to that player. Equip for 2. Skyway Robber. Creature Bird Rogue, 3/3 for 4 with flying. Escape for 3 and a blue. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. Skyway Robber escapes with: whenever Skyway Robber deals combat damage to a player, you may cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell from among cards exiled with Skyway Robber without paying its mana cost. Lethal Scheme, instant for 4, Convoke. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Each creature that convoked Lethal Scheme connives. And Misfortune Teller, creature human warlock, 3/1 for 4 with Death Touch. Whenever Misfortune Teller enters battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, create a 2/2 black rogue creature token. If it was a land card, create a treasure token. Otherwise, you gain 3 life. And Writ of Return. It's a sorcery for 5. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, and it also has Cipher. Then you may exile the spell card encoded on a creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, its controller may cast a copy of the encoded card without paying its mana cost. Life Insurance. Okay then, Enchantment for 5, Extort. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay white or black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you lose 1 life and create a treasure token. Again, lots of treasures in this one. Obscura Confluence, instant for 4, choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once, so you can pick until end of turn. Target creature loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 1/1. Or target creature connives, or target player returns a creature card from their graveyard to their hand. And Oscar Rubbish Reclaimer. Legendary creature, human wizard, 3/3 for 5. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each different mana value among cards in your graveyard. Whenever you discard an online card, you may cast it from your graveyard. And Currency Converter. We saw this one before. Artifact for 1. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. For 2, tap to draw a card, then discard a card. Or tap, put a card exiled with Currency Converter into your graveyard. If it's a land card, create a treasure token. If it's a non-land card, create a 2/2 black rogue creature token. And a Mythic. Archon of Coronation, creature Archon, 5/5 for 6 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. As long as you're the monarch, damage doesn't cause you to lose life. And when a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller still becomes the monarch. And Austere Command, sorcery for 6. Choose 2, destroy all artifacts, destroy all enchantments, destroy all creatures with mana value 3 or less, or destroy all creatures with mana value 4 or greater. And here we have a split card, Dusk Till Dawn, sorcery for 4, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. And then Dawn is a sorcery for 5, has Aftermath, so you cast the spell only from your graveyard, then exile it. Return all creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. And next we have Sun Titan, another mythic creature giant, 6/6/4, 6 mana with vigilance. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And Champion of Wits, creature Naga Wizard, 2/1 for 3. So when it enters the battlefield, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. You can eternalize for 5 and 2 blue, so you pay that cost, exile this card from your graveyard. You get to create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie Naga Wizard with no mana cost, eternalize only as a sorcery. And Chasm Skulker, creature Squid Horror, 1/1 for 3. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Chasm Skulker, and when it dies, create X 1/1 blue squid creature tokens with Island Walk, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Chasm Skulker. They can't be blocked as long as defending player controls an island. So that's the Island Walk mechanic. Commit to Memory, instant for 4. Put target spell or non-land permanent into its owner's library, second from the top. And Memory is a sorcery for 6, so it has Aftermath. Each player shuffles their hand and the graveyard into the library, then draws 7 cards. Ghostly Pilferer, creature, spirit rogue, 2/1 for 2. So whenever it becomes untapped, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. And if you discard a card, Ghostly Pilferer can't be blocked this turn. Identity Thief, creature, shapeshifter, 0/3 for 4. Whenever Identity Thief attacks, you may exile another target non-token creature. If you do, Identity Thief becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. Return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And Nadir Kraken, creature Kraken, 2/3 for 3. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Nadir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. So we'll keep our eyes out. Actually, I see it right there. We've got some tentacles. Stolen Identity, sorcery for 6. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature. And this has the Cipher ability we learned about earlier. Custody Lich, creature, zombie cleric, 4/2 for 5. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. Whenever you become the monarch, target player sacrifices a creature. And a mythic Drainer, Liberator of Malakir, legendary creature vampire ally, 2/3 for 3 with flying and first strike. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature you control. And Graveblade Marauder, creature, human warrior, 1/4 for 3 with death touch. Any amount of damage it deals to a creature is enough to destroy it. Whenever Graveblade Marauder deals combat damage to a player, that player loses life equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. That is brutal. Nightmare Unmaking, sorcery for 5. Choose 1, exile each creature with power greater than the number of cards in your hand. Exile each creature with power less than the number of cards in your hand. Profane Command, sorcery for X and 2 black. Choose 2. Target player loses X life. Return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. Up to X, target creatures gain fear until end of turn. So a bunch of different options on that one. Another mythic, Alela Artful Provocateur, legendary creature, fairy warlock, 2/3 for 4, flying, death touch, and lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0, and we've got a bunch of flyers in this deck. Whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. Next up we have Daxos of Meletis, legendary creature, human soldier, 2/2 for 3. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. And whenever Daxos it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You gain life equal to that card's mana value. Until end of turn, you may cast that card and you may spend mana as well, or mana of any colour to cast that spell. Oh, another mythic. Dragonlord Ojutai, legendary creature, elder dragon, 5/4 for 5 with flying. It has hexproof as long as it's untapped. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Next up, we've got Fallen Shinobi. I remember this one from Modern Horizons. Creature, zombie ninja, 5/4 for 5. Has ninjutsu 2, blue and black, so you pay that cost. Return an unblocked attacker you control to hand. You get to put this card onto the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. Whenever Fallen Shinobi deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top 2 cards of the library. Until the end of turn, you may play those cards without paying their mana costs. And Shadow Mage Infiltrator, creature, human wizard, 1/3 for 3 with fear. Whenever Shadow Mage Infiltrator deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Silent Blade Oni, creature, demon ninja, 6/5 for, 7. Whoa, ninjutsu for 4, blue and black. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at that player's hand. You may cast a spell from among those cards without paying its mana cost. I like it. Thief of Sanity, creature, spectre, 2/2 for 3. With flying, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of that player's library, exile one of them face down, then put the rest into their graveyard. You may look at and cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana, Azure, or mana of any type to cast that spell. And Utter End, instant for 4, exile target non-land permanent. Another mythic, what? Rexiel the Risen Deep, legendary creature Kraken, 5/8, 4/6, Island Walk and Swamp Walk. So this creature can't be blocked as long as the defending player controls an island or a swamp. And whenever Rexiel the Risen Deep deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell will be put into a graveyard this turn, exile it instead. And Quietus Spike. Artifact equipment for 3. Equipped creature has Death Touch. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life rounded up. Whoa, that is pretty crazy. Equip for 3. And Strionic Resonator. Artifact for 2. Pay 2, tap. Copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. A triggered ability uses the words when, whenever, or at. Okay, so that was the last of the main cards here. Next up, we're going to take a look at the mana base. Starting with some non-basic lands, we have Choked Estuary. As it enters the battlefield, you may reveal an island or swamp card from your hand. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. Tap it for blue or black. We've got a sneaky swamp here, we'll tuck that in. And Creeping Tar Pit. Enters battlefield tapped. Tap it for blue or black. Pay 1 blue and black. It becomes a 3/2 blue and black elemental creature until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. It's still a land. Darkwater Catacombs, it's a land, pay 1, tap, add, blue and black. Exotic Orchard, we've seen this in a bunch of the others. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour that a land an opponent controls could produce. Fetid Heath, tap for colourless for white or black. Tap, add 2 white, 2 black, or white and black. Port Town, as it enters battlefield, you may reveal a plains or island card from your hand. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. Tap up for white or blue. Prairie Stream, tap for white or blue, enters battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Sky Cloud Expanse, pay 1, tap, add white and blue. Sunken Hollow, tap for black or blue, yep. Enters battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Temple of Silence. Enters battlefield tapped. When it enters battlefield, scry 1, tap for white or black. Wayfarer's Bauble. We've seen this one, I think, in one of the other decks. Artifact for 1. Pay 2, tap, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto battlefield tap, then shuffle. Arcane Sanctum enters battlefield tap, tap for white, blue, or black. Ash Barrens, we've seen this one as well. Tap for colourless, basic land, cycling 1. Pay 1, discard this card, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. And Command Tower, tap to add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. Esper Panorama, so that is another name for the Obscura. Tap for colourless for 1, tap, sack it, search your library for a basic plains, island, or swamp card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And Myriad Landscape, we've seen this one before as well. Enters the battlefield, tap, tap for colours, for 2, tap, sack it. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And Path of Ancestry, enters the battlefield tapped. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity, and when that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1, and that's another one we've seen. Rogue's Passage, it's a land, tap for colourless for 4, tap. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Thriving Heath, enters battlefield tapped. As it enters battlefield, choose a colour other than white. Tap to add white or 1 mana of the chosen colour. Thriving Isle, same thing for blue. And Thriving Moor, same thing for black. And then our basics, so we'll get a look at these. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Plains, islands. 5 of those. Swamps. 5 of those. And then you'll see they've been doing this as well. You get 1 of each of the full art lands. So we've got a plains, an island, and a swamp. Love that artwork. Okay, so we'll set these aside and take a look at the tokens. So we had a peek at this one earlier. So we've got a 1/1 tentacle token. So that's created by that Kraken we saw earlier. Champion of Wits, 4/4 zombie Naga wizard. When it enters battlefield, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. So we've got a tentacle, a clue on the other side of this one. Pay 2, sack this artifact, draw a card. You're going to create a lot of tentacles, I'm guessing. Another clue. We've got a 1/1 flying fairy. And a rogue, 2/2 on the other side of that one. Fairy and rogue. Squid, 1/1, has island walk. And the monarch. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller becomes the monarch. We've got another squid. And what's this? Treasure token. So tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. Squid and treasure. Thopter flying 1/1 with treasure on the other side. Another Thopter and treasure. And you get some +1/+1 counters here. On the other side, you've got the logo of the Obscura and parts your turn and popular Magic formats. So this one looks like a fun one, especially if you want to crank out those tentacle tokens. You got a lot of card draw, lots of flyers. Some of this copying abilities. So let me know in the comments what you think about this one. And stay tuned, we'll be cracking open the Broker's Lucky Last. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.